welcome to another Sheen exclusive with your host, Elizabeth Colon, also known as Misfit One. But I am telling you, today's exclusive is legendary. That's the hint that we need. We have icon Miss Melba Moore in the house. How are you this morning?
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I'm fine. So happy to be here.
Listen, you are such a history maker. And this is like, I am really, really honored to be speaking to you. This is so profound to a little chocolate girl like me, to be talking to a woman who has broken the barriers on so many things. How does that feel?
I'm amazed myself because the way things happen is really kind of a storybook. It doesn't sound like real. And as I continue to repeat telling it, I realize that it's really quite spectacular. And it looks like I did a whole lot of things, but
you did.
I mean, it feels like I was so smart and I created or I planned things, but I heard my heart. So I would, pass that on to people. You don't know if that's telling you the truth or not. So I think in retrospect, I was probably pretty courageous because I didn't have a clue what was in front of me each time one of these wonderful things happened. So I would say, try to be at peace with God because you don't know what's going on in the universe. And it could be great. You don't want to miss it because you're scared,
Right. Can you tell us some of the difference? Because you were the first. I went to see Les Miserables the other day.
Oh, okay.
And to say you were the first Black person who played Fenty was mind-blowing. How was that?
Okay, so let me just, I guess, flush out what you're saying. Les Miserables is not a Black story.
No.
It's not R&B. It's not really Broadway. It's almost kind of semi-classical. It's about the French Revolution. That's why Elizabeth is making such a big deal out of this.
Yes.
For me to be playing the female lead or one of the female leads in an operetta about the French Revolution is not normal.
No, I don't even know. I have been researching you, and every time I find something new, I go, what? It's just mind-blowing how you have totally done. You played in the old opera. You were the first woman who did a show there that wasn't.
Are you talking about Opryland or
Opryland?
Okay, because that's country and western. We all know that's very racist.
Yes.
So, the reason I'm flushing this out, Elizabeth, is because it might sound like a lot of showbiz hype if I just say to you, oh, yeah, it was great, and don't tell you why it was so unusual.
Please tell us why, please, because we want to know. And that's why I'm hitting on those. I mean, you have your own star on the Hollywood Fame that's this year.
Yes.
This woman has done so much that is so mind-blowing to us because the opera, the country was very racist.
Well, we can't say opera because that means like the Metropolitan Opera. You're talking about Opryland.
Opryland.
That's country western. Go ahead.
Tell them.
No, you tell them. You go ahead and tell them. I don't even remember it, but you reminded me. I know it's country western, it's not the Met. And the reason I know that is because I do opera. That's my actually natural voice. I've learned all these other things. Now go ahead.
So how did you do that? So you was trained in opera, or is that your natural?
Both. It's my natural, and I majored in vocal music in college, music education.
Right.
And my major was voice. So you get to sing other things, but you major in classical music, but that is also my natural voice. I can show you that now. See, I can just do that without even warming up. My mouth is open. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just want you to know, Elizabeth, I'm not lying.
God, this is unbelievable because you are an icon. And I am so honored that you took time to come out. You're taking time to talk to us Sheeners, because we have no idea what you have done for us.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. I want to say thank you so much, because it's just so many barriers that you have broken.
Thank you.
And again, just can you tell us, you have over what, 45, 60 years in this career?
It's over 50 now.
What's the difference? Can you tell us some of the things that you have saw along the way and what really stands out today?
Well, as I look back, well, first of all, I come from a musical family, performing family. And one of the things we always think is whatever the music that comes out when we're coming of age, it's going to be there all the time. And I saw my parents say, oh God, I don't like that rap. What I just said, and as they got to be 60 or 70 years old, even if they could do it, it was not appropriate.
Oh, right.
Right? We never figured that. You wouldn't unless you were in a position of trying to, you love to perform. Now, how am I going to stay relevant, but not be trying to just copy the next generation? And so the reason I think I have a sense for that, I believe I do, is because I've grown up with it and seen my parents, who are the most dear persons to me in my life, try to make the adjustments and realize at least probably every 10 years, it's going to change. And to somehow, I guess as a student of music, when you practice your scales, first of all, you keep in shape. And then what I see, no, but you're asking me as a person who can look back now, didn't know this coming up.
Right, right.
But you only have this once you have the seniority, the years that you put in to look back and say, oh, there's a pattern. Okay, how am I doing in this area? How am I doing in this area? And then, of course, whatever your opinion is, you have to test it out in front of people. Do I have enough courage to get up in front of people and try this? Because I don't know if it's right for me. And the only way I know it's right for me is that people say yay or nay. You can't just sit in your comfortable cubby and say, okay, I want to do this, and it's happened. You have to test it and see if you meet the approval of your critics.
And that takes courage. That takes courage. And that shows not only that, it takes grit, that grit to I know, and to be able to, that's the wisdom there, to be able to sit here and look back. Right. And now give it to the young school people who right. are coming up and thinking that now this is going to be the sound forever. And you're like, no.
It's going to change. And you tell them that. So if they are given the gift of longevity, because I don't think it's just something that you decide you're going to do, you do and you work at it, but it may not be there for you. But if it does, those years down the road, you'll say, somebody said this to me. I didn't think it was ever going to change. Right. That's the time you're really going to get it if you last long enough,
That's another great point. If you last long enough.
And believe me, I'm not trying to say you've done anything wrong if yours is not longevity. Maybe God has some other things in life for you to see. This Absolutely. Is not, it's so charismatic. You can think, well, there's nothing as good as this or this, but no, life is miraculous.
It is. And what's so great about it, Ms. Moore, is that you are such an example on so many fronts, not only by you being the first African-American to do the non-operatic thing in New York Metropolitan Opera House.
Okay, now Elizabeth is talking about the real opera house in Lincoln Center. And I don't know if I was the first, but I was among the first to do a concert there that was not an opera.
Not an opera. How did that go down? This is what I'm saying. It is crazy. How did that happen?
Well, you never do anything good or bad by yourself. But during that time, I had a great husband manager who had these incredible, that was his gift. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
But his is business, ideas, managing artists, getting deals for them. He loves to do it. He was good at it. He was a musician first, so he does it from that perspective.
Right.
You know, Melba, you should be at the Met. I don't know why. I would never. I sing opera. And I wouldn't think of that.
Right. Right.
But I mean,
And
that's how
you
it
went,
happened. You get good people in your life that have other talents than you, and together you make a great team.
wow.
That's how it happened. I never would have thought of it.
That is just, I'm telling you, the more I read, the more I go, wow. Right? Because it's
You know
just,
what? When you say to me, wow, and I say the same thing, what I realize is that at least I'm one of those people who was really anointed and destined to be in this. So even when I don't know what I'm doing, if I will calm down and listen and be open, I can receive something that I never would have thought of, or maybe I didn't even think I would want to do, but I might reconsider it because it didn't come from me. And I think God wants us to do that. Because he wants that for everybody, not
right.
necessarily music, but life is incredible. And he wants this for all of us. And I think if we can, you're getting chill bumps, yeah. It's his presence. He wants it for everybody. And if we get it, he wants us to share it. Because what happens is, now because you're giving me this chance to do this and set a good example, I'm going to get even more. I'm going to break even more barriers. And so will you.
Oh my gosh, that's just
Right?
such,
You know, it's true.
I received that it all because
Yes.
it's very, very you
But
just
later we'll come back and talk about this. I know it. Go ahead.
yes, because what's crazy is you just gave a perfect example of it with the Met. You said, I would have never thought about that.
And I sing opera. That's my natural voice.
Right?
But that's not all there is to it, right? I would have to go, I would have had to become a successful and popular opera singer
Finger. Right.
and not do all these other things or do operas. And then I would have invited perhaps do an opera at maybe Carmen or something at the Met. But that's not what happened.
No, no, no. I thank you so much. I really do. I am in awe of you. And I am so honored again to be speaking to you because you have given us so much. And I also want to talk about, because not just the things you've done in the past, you have things going on right now. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I guess one of the projects I'm most deeply involved in is my current album, which is called Imagine.
Yes.
And of course, I'm excited because it's new. I have something new. And I'm excited because it allows me to pass the baton on to my daughter. Now, it would be her label.
Wow.
The label is called Gallery Records. Gallery. She wants to call it Gallery Entertainment because she's not going to do just records. She's going to embrace in the entire entertainment industry as it presents itself to her. She's going to be like Mom. She's going to see what God has and say, okay, we can try that. We can do this. We'll see. But it's going to be an entertainment company. She put it together. I think that's incredible for me because once again, it allows me to continue because now I can see myself from this generation's point of view. Because during the pandemic, we were all shut down. And so she started to bring me some songs. And she said, Ma, I think these would be good for you. I said, they're beautiful. They must be good for me.
Right, right.
Who's singing the demo? She started Chantel, what's her name? Chantel Hampton.
More?
No, that's the other great singer. She
Yes.
also had good legs.
Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, we have ridiculous artists in this industry in this
Yes,
stage.
yes.
But she brought me these songs, and over 2 years or so, it was maybe about 20 songs. Just over time, we didn't have a lot else to do. So,
Right.
and so she says, Mom, what do you think about making an album of this? I said, well, we don't have a label. We don't have a. So she said, well, Uncle Bo thinks you should go in the studio and start trying to record these to see if they work or not. So, well, her Uncle Bo is the brother of my ex-husband. So first thing I had to say was, okay,
He thinks so?
let
Okay.
let
I'm
bygones
being,
be bygones.
yes, I'm being obedient, Lord.
Exactly. I'm not going to say what I think or feel. I'm going to shut myself down and see what you have to say. And of course, as I stopped thinking about whatever I was thinking about in regards to my family and how it was constructed before, I realized that Bo and Charles, my ex-husband, are responsible for almost every successful recording I ever had. So one thing they know me better than I do as a recording artist, because in the studio, you do what the producer tells you to. You do what the arranger tells you to. You do the managers, which was my husband, goes and gets the producers and makes the deals with the recording companies. So
Right.
basically, they put the team together, and you come in and you fit into that. I said, well, I'm not going to be able to do this by myself, so I look like I better
Get
think
a team.
about this in a different way. And so I said, well, your Uncle Bo has always had a great ear. He always comes and works as our in-house A&R person.
Wow.
They've always also been responsible for getting all the artists that our company, Hush Productions, has managed over the years. We've been like the New York Motown in terms of getting all these different artists, like Lisa Morgan, Freddie Jackson. Oh God, it's too many for me to remember now. That's how successful our company's been at.
Hush.
Yeah, I mean, at developing artists. So I said, well, I had that. I still have that. We've been divorced. We're not really a family anymore, but I still have that. I think I better grab this and see what they might. And he thinks I could be relevant now. I mean, I have been with other people in other situations,
Right.
but so we met and said, okay, let's go back and try these things. And as I went in the studio and warmed my voice up and put my mind in the place of the songwriter and the story and everything, and then stop being intimidated by the beautiful performance that the demo person did. Say, okay, now what am I going to do with this?
Right. And it's beautiful. I've heard the album.
So it all began to take shape like that. Each song has its own life and spirit. Also, Ronnie Song is another person. He's a songwriter, producer that we work with often. So he knows me really well. He's very versatile, very spiritual. So he would help choose the songs as well as help us to get the other songwriters besides himself and Chantel that will collaborate and put it together. So it's been like an old team that I didn't work with until now again, and some new writers and new songs, and putting them together in the way that we're all been reconstructed as a result of the pandemic too. We're a new type of family. We appreciate each other in a different way. We weren't one of the millions that died.
Amen.
It's a new way.
Amen. Yeah. And it's great.
I think a new way of being able actually to reinvent or appreciate yourself. I know I always did it this way, but let me see.
I think that's the best lesson of all, is to be open and being willing to grow and take the risk. And because that's a skill in itself. There's a lot of talented people that didn't make it longevity because they didn't want to do the shift. They didn't want to make that change or was not open. This is who I am. This is my style. And so I appreciate you so much for coming out and telling us, the young school people out here, to be open. And like you said, life is a place for us to live and not be afraid. So
I won't say not be afraid, but do it anyway, even if
but
you're
do it
afraid.
anyway. That's right. Do it
Because
anyway.
the fear is going to make you do everything not to do it. And you cannot do that. You have to, even, yes, you might fail. Do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
It's easy to say, but I've been doing it. So I can tell you, if it may not come out like you thought it would be, but you're going to get something out of it that continues to make you a new person. That's the most important thing, more so than the recording or the work. It may not be records. You may get some lessons from this, from other talents or other ventures that you might try in life. Is
Right.
part of your life blossoming and taking roots somewhere else, and getting better ground and everything. You have no idea what it's going to be unless you take that risk.
Love it. Love it. Sheeners, I know you hear the wise words from this woman who is telling us, and you listen, you heard it for yourself. So it's not like I didn't know that this was going to happen. Miss Moore done dropped those nuggets and knowledge for everybody. So make sure you all get out, get her album. It's Imagine. And you will be delighted because this living icon is still doing her things for over 50 years. And we thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing your audience with me. And because I could be fabulous, but I'd be by myself if you didn't share.
We really appreciate it. And until we speak again, God bless.